Welcome to session number 5, where you're going to learn how to create your fan page magnet blueprint. And I'm going to show you how to use mind maps and flowcharts to create your ultimate customer experience. And why would we do this in the first place? Well, the thing is that most of the time when I look at people's websites, they're really haven't thought about what it's like to be a customer. They've never thought about what kind of a sequence they would like to walk people through to naturally get you step by step from never having met me before to learning about my products and how my products can meet your needs, giving you nice free education, getting you to opt into a webinar, and ultimately to purchase a product. So most of us learn, think, and remember in pictures. And flowcharts are really great for creating steps and sequences. So this is a flowchart of my website, attractcustomersnow.com. And when you're trying to figure out where do we want people to come into and what information do we want them to see first, how are we going to get an email address, how are we going to take them to a step-by-step sequence of easily and naturally finding our products and that our solutions are going to meet their needs. And the way that we do this is very simply start out with a blank sheet of paper. Now there's a lot of software out there for mind maps and flowcharts and things like that, and I don't use any of them. I've tried many of them, and I've found them all to be stifling in terms of creativity. So what I would much rather see you do is to pull out a blank sheet of paper. And if you're like me and have really bad handwriting, that's okay, because you can, for $5, turn what you see here of a very simple way of how am I going to get traffic from Facebook to my website into something like this that looks really nice. And I did this for $5 on Fiverr. So when you have that's Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. And all I did was I took out a blank sheet of paper. I drew these boxes on the left-hand side and on the right-hand side, took a picture with my phone, and I emailed it to a guy on Fiverr, and for $5, I got this. And it looked great. It's nice and clean and neat, and I know how I'm going to grow my Facebook page and drive traffic, and I've got a very well laid out, simple visual on how I'm going to get people from Facebook to my home page, to my blog, which takes them to the squeeze page, which is where we get their email address, which takes them to the sales page, which is where they purchase our product, and then takes them online chat helps facilitate that process. And here is, again, same thing, where I drew out some boxes and emailed that to Fiverr, or in this case, we had our graphic designer do it, but it was still, the process was equally as simple. I said, okay, what do I want to have happen on my website? I want people to come into any of the tabs, which are located in the upper blue left-hand area. And in every single one of the tabs, I want people to be able to opt into my free training and newsletter. And I want to make it really easy for everybody to sign up and put their email and newsletter in. And then my tab number 7 is where people can see our program catalog, and that's where they get to the sales pages, and ultimately through a sales sequence where we start off with something called a tripwire sale, where the first thing we sell is a $9 book. And it's an easy purchase. It's really easy for people to spend $9. And that takes them to an order form. It takes them through an upsell sequence, which, okay, if you like this information for $9, I have another program for $197. And if you like that, I have another program for $500. And if you like that, there's a $2,000, and then there's a $6,000, and there's a $15,000 high-end one-on-one coaching package. And it takes people easily and naturally all the way through that sequence and out to the opt-in page. And the only way we got this done is because I started out with a blank sheet of paper and drew out the sequence. Here's another example. What do you want? What kind of emails do you want people to get that would make sense? Again, a lot of people's pages I opt into, and I get emails that don't make any sense, and they're out of sequence and out of order. Well, the way to do that, a very simple way to fix that, is to write out if somebody is opting in to your free training and newsletter, there on the right-hand side where it says opt-in sequence page, where do they go next? Well, what's going to happen is they will be opted into my new lead email autoresponder. And over the next 14 days, they'll receive 8 emails. And each of those 8 emails will bring people back to a different tab on our website. And each one is an opportunity for someone to purchase one of our products. And it allows us to get a lot of people visiting our website. What I found is very, very, very few people purchase our products the first time they come to our website. Most of our products are sold on the 3rd or 4th or 5th visit. So how do you get people to come back 3 or 4 or 5 times? Well, an email autoresponder sequence helps a lot. Really helps get people coming back. And it needs to make sense. And if somebody comes in and they try to purchase and their purchase is unsuccessful, they go into a declined card sequence. It says, whoops, something happened, how can we fix it? And if they can't log in, there's an email success password and login and a new customer email autoresponder sequence. So the only way we can make sense of all this is if we simply draw it out into something that looks like this. Then the next step is, okay, what does that look like expanded? Now this may look a little scary, but don't be scared. It's the exact same thing that you just looked at. It's only expanded all the way out. And it gives me a visual to help me understand where people are going and why. And when you do that, you can make it in such a way that it makes sense. And what we're doing is we're creating an optimal customer flow experience. So when someone opts into our one of our squeeze pages, they put in their name and email to watch a free training, the likelihood is that they're not going to buy that first time. 90% of the time, 95% of the time, they do not purchase. So we want to send them high quality free content to get them to come back. So here's how we do it in a new lead autoresponder sequence. This is the first page. If someone comes to our website, this is the first page. And we only figured out this sequence when I was able to draw this out. And prior to this, prior to figuring this out, we had an incredibly low conversion rate. We only had, out of everybody who came to our website, only 1% of traffic actually gave us their email, and only 1% of that ever purchased anything. So our purchase was 0.01%. It was really, really poor. Once we figured this out, all of a sudden, we went to 11% opt-ins. 11%. And we increased an additional 10% conversions after that. So we literally grew our conversions and our sales by 100 times just by drawing this out on a piece of paper. So this is so valuable to do. And you got to make it simple. And the way to make it simple is to start out with a blank sheet of paper and draw your boxes. And so this is an example. When somebody comes in, they get to the home page. And if you put in your name and email, you get into our autoresponder sequence. So 48 hours later, you'll get an email that clicks and takes you back to this page. So the email will say, hey, if you want to learn how to use the simple 3-step viral post formula, click here. And it's a free video, and it's a free information. And on 2 days later, you're going to get another email that takes you to this page. Learn about the photo album stack. Another free video. We're giving a lot of high quality free content. 2 days later, they get this email. How to grow your business with social proof. 2 days later, it's this email. Hey, look at who else has 10,000 fans. It's our fan reviews page. And now you start to see the product. Now there's actually a product there that you can purchase. And a little bit about who am I? And then the next one, by that time you're at the end of the sequence, and now we go say, okay, if you liked this information, it's now time to buy. Here's what we have in our product offerings. And then you get in, welcome to the members area. This is the whole idea. And so what we're trying to do here is we're trying to optimize the sales funnel. And remember, when I first started this, we were only getting 1% of people who visited our website were actually giving their email, and only 1% of those were actually purchasing. Once I took the time to draw out what I actually wanted to happen, it was very simple. I said, you know, what I really want to have happen is people go to our homepage or some sales or some opt-in page and go right to a sales page. And the sales page is actually, it gives a whole hour of free training. So it's not all selling. It's 90% high quality content. And then if you purchase, you get to the thank you page. And that was so simple. And once I did that, we went from 0.1% conversions to 11% conversions. And the chart you're seeing on the left-hand side is what we use for Google Analytics. Google Analytics is a free tool provided by Google that you can install on your website or ask your developer to install on your website, and you can measure how well your pages are converting. And I never would have known any of this information if we didn't simply install Google Analytics and take a look at it. So the big mistake that I see most entrepreneurs make is, instead of thinking about what they want their customer flow sequence to look like, entrepreneurs frequently think about, oh, I want a really pretty looking website, and never consider what is it like to be a customer and what do they actually want their customer to do. And we're going to do a very simple exercise right now so that you can figure this out. So the first exercise we're going to do is to create your customer flow chart. And the first thing I want you to do is pull out a blank piece of paper. And on the left-hand side of the paper, I want you to draw boxes that represent your Facebook content so that you can drive traffic to your website. And on the right-hand side of your flow chart, you're going to draw out where you want people to come to your website so that it looks like this. So go ahead right now, pull out a blank sheet of paper and put Facebook on the left and your website on the right. And I want you to draw out, how do you want to get people from Facebook to your website? Because one of the big secrets about Facebook marketing is the whole point of what we do is to get people off of Facebook and onto our website where they purchase. It's not that you can't make any sales on Facebook. You can, but I find that I make really 99% of my sales on my website, not on Facebook. I find everybody on Facebook and we drive them to our website or to some other kind of landing page. And let's say you don't have a website, but you have a forthcoming book, drive them to Amazon. So you still need to draw this out to figure out how your customer sequence is. So right now, pull out a blank sheet of paper, go ahead and do this exercise, and we will see you in session 6